Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Wet n Wild brush set. These are gorgeous brushes, you guys. Just the look and the feel of them, they are probably my new favorite affordable brushes as a whole. They are just, I'm in love. I can't help it. I mean, look how beautiful these are. If you guys want to know my thoughts, feelings, and review on these Wet n Wild brushes, just stay tuned. First of all, I want to talk about the design of these brushes. They have a beautiful pink top to them. They all have white handles, and also if you can see that little slit right there, that's to put your, sorry about the missing nail. That's to put your hands on it so it's easier to hold. Personally, I can't really tell a difference as far as the hold goes, but they are easy to hold, but they're the same as a normal brush. These brushes are also vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. I know that that's important to a lot of people, so you can be able to have affordable brushes without, disturbing any of your morals. If you order it online, you get a better deal. I got these for $28.99. The bigger face brushes are $2.99. And then the eyeshadow brushes are 99 cents. How can you beat that? That's crazy. What? Because I ordered these offline, I can tell you that it was extremely fast shipping. I think it took about 4 days, and it's Christmas Eve. Yeah, usually, I didn't think they would get here by Christmas, but Wet n Wild was on its game, girl. The only thing that I have to say about when you order them as a whole that's a negative is I think it's very wasteful packaging. They come in these plastic packaging, and you get one for every single brush. There's 17 brushes. I just think that's really wasteful and unnecessary. I would have been fine with them putting it in a bag. I don't need all of these packages, With all of that being said, I want to move on to each brush in depth and let you know exactly what I thought about each individual one. I'm going to be starting with eye brushes because in my personal makeup application, that's how I start. I start eyes and then face because I'm a little weirdo like that. The first brush I want to start with is the small eyeshadow brush. First of all, this brush is super dense, but these are all very, very soft. So keep that in mind. This is amazing for packing that shadow on the lid, girl. Like, it just does such a nice job of, giving pigment payoff. It's insane. And you can still go in and blend that lid color out because it is soft. It's just everything you would want in a lid style brush. I would definitely recommend this out of the set if you're thinking about just purchasing separate ones. It's great. The next one I had not tried. It is their smoky liner brush. This is so teeny. It's so cute. The thing about it is I would not recommend this for actually smoking out your lower lash line. It might work okay for actual liner, but I wouldn't even use this for that either. I think if you try to blend anything out with this, because it's so small and so dense, that you would not get the desired blendable look that you're going for. I personally used this for other things. I wanted to, kind of let you guys know what you could use for these brushes even if I didn't like them for what they're meant for, because if you're thinking about purchasing the set, that can be helpful. I actually used this for my inner corner highlight, and that turned out pretty dang good. Also, you could do detailed work with this, like spot treatment, conceal, because all of these brushes are synthetic, so you can use liquid or powder with them. I think that this is worth it, but honestly, I do not think you need to go out and purchase this. There's a lot better smoky liner style brushes that are super affordable that I think would do a better job than this. The next one is so near and dear to my heart. I literally use it every single day. I love it so much that I have 3 of them. It's the crease brush by Wet n Wild. I'm just going to show you my new one because it's all shiny and new and pretty. The reason I use this every single day is for my transition color, you guys. It can just so easily blend things out. It's so fluffy. I mean, this is the softest, affordable crease. This is one of the softest crease brushes I have ever seen. Affordable or high-end. I don't care. Obviously, I would recommend this to anybody. I think if you weren't to get any other of the eye brushes, get this one. This is the one that I would recommend the most. It's going to change your shadow game if you do not have a good transition brush. Love it. The next one is the bent liner brush. First of all, I don't really like these, not just the bent part, but this liner style brushes that aren't angled. Those are the kind that I definitely prefer. But this particularly bent in the way it is, I don't like this one, especially for liner. And also, if you guys can, I don't know if you can see that because it is very small, but when I tried applying liner with this, it was so messy. And it's because even though it is small, it frayed a little bit. And I've only used it one time. It should not be fraying like that. That being said, you can use this for other things. I like to use these kind of brushes in particular for like cleaning up my brows or my lip area, or if I have a really big ass zit that day. I just go in and, lightly put concealer on it. But I think that this being bent, like look, it looks weird. It's like, I wouldn't recommend this. I think that Real Techniques makes a much better one in this style. I use that brush so much. I think just save your 99 cents, girl, and go get a gumball because this ain't worth it. Up next is the large eyeshadow brush. This one is also near and dear to my heart. I also have 3 of these. If I like something, I'm going to go out and purchase that with backups. I can't help it. So the reason that this is my favorite is it's such a multi-use brush. I've talked about this one on my channel before, particularly for contouring my nose. I've used this a lot for contouring my nose and also small detail areas like underneath my lip or something like that that's very meticulous. And it's a really great little detailer brush. But it's super good with eyeshadow too. You can get right up into your crease area, but you can also pack on shadow with this. You can go up here and blend everything out. This is so great as a clean blender brush to just make everything harmonious together. All in all, I would go out and purchase this if you have not yet. Girl, it's so good. Moving on to the face portion of this brush set, I'm going to start with the stipple brush. This, it's okay for what it is. It wasn't my favorite just because it's so big. Like, I tried to, go in and apply cream blush with this. It's just so big. It's probably my least favorite face brush, honestly. Well, second least favorite. We'll get into that. But yeah, I don't think that this is worth it. But if you're getting this brush set as a whole, I think that you could definitely make this work for something on your face. Because it does blend good and that kind of thing. Like I said, I just think it's way too large. Moving on to my favorite brush out of this entire brush line. It's the flat top foundation brush. This is so good. I cannot believe it's $2.99. First of all, when you blend your foundation out with this, it's super fast. Like, I was able to do this faster than I can with my beauty blender. And it's really, really hard for me to get into brushes for foundation in the first place because I'm so addicted to my beauty blender. This is going to be getting some use out of it. And the reason I think that I really like it too is because of the way it's shaped, because it's a little, you know, tapered, but then it flares out on the ends. So you get those edges and you can reach into areas like your nose, underneath your eye, and it's so soft that it just buffs everything right out. I just go in and pat like that and then buff it out in the places that I need to. I was also able to use this really well after I applied my concealer. I buffed around the edges of my concealer underneath my eye, and then in other areas of my face, I honestly just use this to buff it out. This would be the one to try. That's what I want you guys to take out of this. I'm in love. I love it. It's my fave. Next is the blush brush. This has a really unique shape, I think, because all of these are kind of, you know, pinched in right here at the base, but then they like flare out. I know that there's other blush brushes out there like this, but I don't feel like you see too many. The cool thing about this brush is you can either pack it on like this, but then you can flip it over and kind of brush it on like this. And it's so soft, but at the same time, you kind of have to be a little careful with it because it really packs on the blush. And I wasn't expecting that because when I've seen other reviews about this brush line, people were saying that this doesn't pick up that much product. So when I first went in with it, I'm just like, holy crap, like, whoa, okay. And I had to take other brushes in and like blend it out because it really packed a punch. I was very surprised, and in a good way. I think as a blush brush in general, you know, you can find better ones than this, but not at this price point. This is kind of one of the ones that I would recommend for like a beginner brush set type thing. Like if you're starting into makeup and you want to just get something affordable, then yeah, go for it. But otherwise, I don't know. So let's talk about this contour brush now. This is an angled contour. I keep doing that with all of them because they feel so nice. I can't help it. I'm just like, hey. I actually really liked this. I was surprised by it. I'm usually not into the angled style contour brushes. This was really good for a really nice soft contour. I don't think that you could really sculpt your face out to where you could like cut somebody with your contour, you know what I mean? I used bronzer for what I did, and it was able to blend it out so nice. Like I was able to do my neck with it, so it can cover a lot of ground for the size it is because it's so soft. The thing that I'll be using this for is when I use bronzer for contouring and then just buffing it out to pretty much warm up my face because it is so soft. But I really do think I will pick this up over other brushes for that kind of technique because it can blend it out so nicely. It's so easy. If these brushes can't do anything else, they can blend. So next is the small stipple. Whoa, that was fast. Next is the small stipple brush. I liked this so much better than the large one for obvious reasons because of the size. You can really like get in there. You could, you know, use this with cream highlighter because it's the perfect size. It's a great little stipple brush. I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's a stipple brush and it's kind of average. I'm not that into stipple brushes, honestly, but I think that this is kind of a lot like the e.l.f. stipple brush, but the e.l.f. one I like a little more and it's the same price. Or no, the e.l.f. one's cheaper. If you want to pick this up for 99 cents because you just want to try a stipple brush out, I think that's what it would be good for. Again, otherwise, I don't know, it's a stipple brush. take it or leave it. Moving on to this large concealer brush. I totally could not get this one clean either, and I only used it twice. And the reason I only use this twice is because I really don't like these style concealer brushes. Again, I would prefer like the flat top brush or a beauty blender for something like that. It didn't blend it out as well as I would have liked it to. It didn't leave it streaky, but it just like, it wouldn't blend in. It just like, it left it really thick for some reason. It was very strange. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one at all, honestly, which sucks, but you know, have to say it. So the small concealer brush is a completely different story. If you want to pick up a concealer brush from this line though, make it this small concealer brush. This is the perfect size to do everything you want a concealer brush to while blending out super nicely. What I ended up doing with this was actually packing on my concealer that I use for an eye primer and then cutting out my brows with this. And it worked very well. I was able to clean up my lip area, but it just blended so much nicer than the other ones. And I think it's because it's way more dense than they are, and it's stiff too. So it really blended in a lot better than I'm used to concealer brushes blending in. Like, this is one of the better ones that I've tried. When I usually use concealer brushes, it's just, it never wows me. This wowed me, you guys. I was pleasantly surprised. I would definitely recommend this one. Talking about brows, this is their angled liner brush. Obviously, I did not use it for liner. I used it for my eyebrows. The reason I didn't use this for liner is because it's rather soft, and I thought it would work way better in my brows because it's not so soft that it's totally useless, but I knew that it wouldn't work very well for liner. But when I was doing it with my brows, I had a really great time with this in the front, but then when I got to the tail end, it was rather hard to work with. It was like it smeared it on instead of me having control. As you can tell, my brows are a little uneven today, and that's why, because when I got to the tail, it just, I don't know, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, and I used my brow, which I use all the time. I need something a little stiffer and that, you know, can really help me draw on the hairs, making it look more natural. I think that you can do that with this in the front, and again, if you're just filling in the sparse areas, you would probably love this if that was the case. So this is kind of up to you and what your situation is. They included a original style foundation brush in this. Again, I do not use these style brushes for makeup application whatsoever, but I do love using these for masks. This one is a little more thick than I'm used to. It's a pretty large one. I think that I will be using this for masks probably, but I usually like a little bit of a thinner one when I'm doing that. So I think that this is a big pass. You guys, nobody really uses these because there's so much better stuff out there. You can buy that flat top brush for the same exact price. That's the one that I would go for.
Oh God, I'm losing my voice. This always happens in videos.
Last but not least is the fan brush. Well, it's kind of least, but we'll get there. This fan brush is weirdly shaped. I don't know, like this angle, it looks like a normal fan brush, but then you turn it and it's like thin as a fingernail, I swear to God. And this is so like I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's very stiff. And when I'm using fan brushes, I want it to just melt that highlighter on with everything else and blend it together and just be an amazing friggin' fan brush. Do everything I want it to, or else I'm like, meh. Because highlighter is my favorite and I'm very picky about it, what I'm using. So this, when I applied this, I had to do it on the side of the brush because this is so small. I think the only thing you could use it for is your Cupid's bow, which I did end up doing, and it worked all right. But again, because it's so thin, it cannot blend. It just can't. When you turn it on its side, you see how big that is? You don't want your highlighter all over your cheek. It's not a good look. It packed it on way too much without blending it too. I really don't like this fan brush at all. I think the only thing I might use it for is like maybe my shoulders. It's not a good fan brush at all. I really don't like it. And I picked up their new Mega Glow highlighting powder with it, and I do really like this powder. I just think it's ridiculous that they can make awesome highlighters and a crappy ass fan brush. Like, Wetnwild, come on. I know you got it in you. Well, we kind of ended off on a bad note, but we got there. Honestly though, in my very honest opinion, I think that you could go out and just pick a few of these brushes and be very happy instead of getting the whole set. I would recommend doing that and just picking out the few that you think you would like. The only one that I didn't cover is this eyebrow lash whatever brush. You know, it should have been a spoolie. That's why I didn't even talk about it. I'm sorry that I didn't, but whatever. Nobody needs to hear about that. We all know what it does. There's such great things in here. Like, my favorite face brush is obviously that flat top one. Favorite eye brush is the crease brush, but then the large eyeshadow brush is up there. I think that you guys would be really happy with this. There's only a few of these brushes that I don't like, and all of them I would be able to get use out of. So if you do decide to buy this as a set, you would still be happy because, girl, you can find a way to use any product, trust me. They look so nice on your vanity. I love the design of them. They're just gorgeous. So my overall opinion of the Wet n Wild brush set is that I love it. I think it's amazing. Like I said, there's only a few that are kind of but yes, I love it. Hopefully this video was not too long because looking at how long it took me to record it, I'm like, I'm recording this on Christmas Eve right now. It will probably be up after Christmas, so I can't be like, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, even though I'm like, Christmas! I just wanted to take a second to tell you guys thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been so awesome lately. One of my videos hit 100 views for the very first time, which, you know, might not seem like a lot to a lot of people, or to some people, but it's a lot to me. Every single one of you that watch my videos, just, I appreciate you so much. Anyway, without all my rambling, I love you guys so much. I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Bye, you guys.